Hey, little rollerblader, are you okay?
Hey! Will you guys stop talking about rollerblading?
Why? Are you afraid you're missing out on something?
Yes?
Rollerblade skating, that's what you were doing. How and where would you guys even get fucking rollerblades? First of all, obviously you stole them.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 13 of the Blade Rat Podcast. In today's episode, we join the Portland crew on their drive to the Northwest Shred Tour. In the van, we're joined with David Wittman, Ivan Gwynn, Cody Clark, and myself. Later in the episode, we sit down to chat with Dave Hill about Flying Eagle skates and his recent exploration with quad skates. And we get some time to sit down with Josh Acosta to chat about his new fitness project on YouTube. We strive to give you a premium listening experience. If you enjoy this podcast, please give us a 5-star review. Simply open the Blade Rat Podcast on iTunes, scroll to the bottom, and tap the 5-star in the ratings and reviews section. Special thanks to all our supporters out there: Dustin, Jose, Britta, Zach, Rob, and the guys at Contrabrand. You can support our podcast by visiting www.patreon.com/Blade Rat Podcast or visit bladerat.com and click support or visit our shop. All pledges go towards new Blade Rat apparel and equipment upgrades. Speaking of goods, check out our store for Blade Rat pendant necklaces and Blade Rat beanies. We appreciate all the love and support that we've been seeing for Blade Rat. This episode opens up with sounds of me scooping up one of my really good friends, David Wittman, at the Portland airport.
What's up, dude?
What up, man?
Good, you? How was the travels?
All day, dude. Left my house at 6:30 this morning.
Train?
Train to LA.
So good.
How you doing?
See ya.
Train to LA and then fucking a couple planes.
Welcome back to Portland. Yeah.
Woo, feels good, dude. It's the best airport in the country, man.
David and I drive to the southeast part of Portland to pick up Ivan Gwynn and Cody Clark. The van now fits 4 of us, plus Cody Clark's pup, Lady. With the back seats removed, our crew is riding comfortably, with all of our blades, our camping supplies, and gear in the back. Cody keeps us entertained with some really good jams from the 4-piece harmonica necklace that I hooked him up with. Check out more of my necklaces at crystal_and_rose_.
Cody, you want to play a Shred Tour song on the harmonica? Yeah, come up with a theme.
Damn, bro, we're next to a cycle right now. I don't know.
Cody, get that harmonica. You're listening to the classic sounds of Cody Clark. That's all I got.
And we crash.
Cody Clark and Shane McClay have had a long-standing argument of who knows the better fried chicken location. Cody guides the crew to Azel's Chicken in Tacoma. It seems that the spicy chicken tenders has won the hearts of the Portland crew. Cody FaceTimes to report the news back to Shane.
Hey, it's been nothing but laughter, good chicken, and blunts, bro. I think I'm a good addition.
Check out my side. Check out my highlights right now.
Adorable.
Can you say hi?
Hi. What's up, Quinn? Oh, that's awesome.
Gang, gang.
Okay, get her to say Blader Gang.
Can you say later, gang? Gang, gang. That's all you get. She's not even to you.
She's so cute and like attentive. That's cute.
Yeah. Smarty pants, too.
We just got approved on our apartment in Minneapolis, so we have a place to live, so we're gonna go celebrate.
Gang.
Nice
Yeah.
job.
We got a job and a place, a house
Congrats, dude.
in Minneapolis, so
Congrats. We're all gonna come smoke mad blunts at your house sometime.
that'd be sick. You guys have fun and take lots of videos, and I love all of you.
All right, man.
Later, bud.
Later.
See ya.
Bye, guys. Have fun.
Finally, after a 1.5-hour traffic jam in Tacoma, we arrived at the first skate park and are greeted by some good friends of Spokane, Washington.
What's up, guys? As soon as you get out of the park, I guess hey. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Good to see you, bud. Yeah, I got a bunch of good.
Shit, my shit's fire. I don't care what color you got. We out here.
Perfect. We compact. We compact. Yeah.
Hey. Oh, hey.
Haunted. Yeah, we're the haunted crew. Yes, I'm a crew.
The crew takes the first skate park for a ride, and the vibes are obvious. Everyone is excited about this year's Shred Tour. After the blade session, the crew finally settles down at the campsite. Rollerbladers from all around sit around the campfire and share stories and laughs. We wake from our tents and hammocks and head to the next skate park. Between shooting photos for the BMAG article, I had a chance to give a sticker pack to the new Portland/Vancouver rollerblader, Nevaeh. She's new to rollerblading and falls under the wing of Robbie Smith in Vancouver. A week prior to the Shred Tour, she had mentioned that she wanted more stickers for her helmet and pads.
I need to get Nevaeh's attention. I brought her a pack of stickers.
Oh, Nevaeh.
Yeah, call her over here.
Nevaeh, come here. Nevaeh. Hey. Hi.
I have a Shred Tour present for you. Stickers. It's a pile of stickers. It's all a bunch of blading stickers. And some glow-in-the-dark shoelaces.
And some buttons.
Some blading pins.
How cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
After a few days of on and off raining and consistent shredding at the Seattle skate parks, we arrive at the last campsite for the week. This isn't your traditional campsite. A huge crew of rollerbladers take the ferry to Vashon Island to camp at the local skate park exterior. The city locks up the DIY skate park at night, but the exterior still greets us with a perfect bowl and pool coping. Some shred the bowl, some set up camp for the night, and some shred the P-rail.
Send it, lady.
Hey, come here. In here.
How long has this been here?
Dude, that new half pipe, or this has been here for a while. The park's been here for a while too, but they like every time I've came here, they've made it better. Like the first time I came here, it was pretty shit. Then the second time they had like P-rails, and it's just now that half pipe, that little half pipe's new, and that bigger one's new.
Do a sweat dance for a shot.
Do a sweat dance
I'll
for
take
a
the shot.
I'll do a sweat dance for a shot if we got skates on. Let's crack it.
Top side music.
All topside Mizu with no skates. Oh, man. Like that, yeah.
Many sweat stances and shots later, the crowd gathered to cheer on the few four who shredded via moonlight and LED light. One of the greatest moments of Northwest Shred Tour history was not captured on audio or video to my knowledge. One rollerblader mizzed the P-rail, and mid-trick, a blade rat ran out. The crowd went wild. It was truly a blade rat miracle. The crew gets some sleep, and we wake to drive to the last skate park of the tour. Before wrapping the trip, I sit down with Dave Hill to ask him a few questions in the shade.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here chilling in the back of my minivan with Dave Hill here at the Northwest Shred Tour, last park of the weekend. And what's going on here?
Just trying to get my body right for the final park and get some stretching in.
Sick. What do you think of the park layouts and the kind of parks that we've skated so far?
It's been fantastic. But this is the one park that I've been waiting for the whole trip.
Yeah, we revisited this one, right, a couple years back on the Washington Northwest Shred Tour 2 years ago.
Yeah, and it was the highlight of that trip, too.
So we're back here again.
Yeah.
So what else, what kind of other things have you enjoyed other than just the blading here on the Shred Tour?
Just being around the skate family, for sure. The Blade family is always one of the big attractions to these tours for me.
New faces, old faces?
Yeah, you get to see familiar faces and meet new people and make new friends. And you see people on Instagram and Facebook, and then you get to meet them in person. You already know them, but you don't know them until you meet them in person. And it's just a cool experience. Every year, it's different.
Absolutely. And you're from Spokane, Washington, right?
Spokane, Washington.
Yeah, and you have a background, a history with rollerblade, right?
Yeah, I was sponsored by Rollerblade like in 2001.
Okay.
And
way back in the day.
Back in the day. That was a life-changing experience for me.
And you have a lot of, you're pretty active on YouTube, right?
Yeah, YouTube, Instagram.
Cool.
A little bit on Facebook, but I don't mess around that much on there anymore.
You're working with Flying Eagle here and there?
Yes, Flying Eagle. So a couple years ago, Tree from Chicago talked me into buying a pair of Flying Eagles. And I got them. These are the big wheels, the 110s, and made a couple of videos. So Flying Eagle contacted me and started having me tag them in my videos, and it just went from there.
Nice.
And now I got the aggressive skates, and they're amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I like the one thing that I think is really cool seeing them up close and personal, especially like the vent holes. You know, like
Oh yeah, and they're light and they ventilate your feet well because that's a unique feature for an aggressive skate.
Yeah, and the sole plate looks remarkably good on these skates too.
They're fantastic.
Mid strap looks cool too.
About that sole plate, like I'm not a big negative grinder, but in these ones I definitely can lock them.
Nice.
And they're solid. These are dope skates. They're super comfortable.
Hell yeah. Anything else you're looking forward to on the trip, or you're heading out after this?
Yeah, I'm gonna go home after this one. This Port Orchard skate park is one of the best skate parks I've ever been to.
Nice.
So.
And you're here with your girlfriend that also skates?
Yeah, Chloe. She roller skates, and yeah.
Has she got you into roller skating at all?
Yeah, I do. I dabble with the roller skating. I actually got a sponsor.
Nice.
From roller skating.
What's that like rollerblade versus roller skating in terms of like the feel of it? Or
it's not. Well, it's somewhat similar, but not at all. Like
right.
The grinds feel different. Just rolling around feels different. The wheelbase is not the same. So like on rollerblades, your front wheel and your back wheel are by your heel and your toe, but on roller skates, your front wheels are kind of behind your toes, more on the ball of your foot. So the balance is different.
Do you think? Do you ever like draw inspiration seeing like watching more roller skate content and stuff like that? Like, do you?
Yeah, they skate different.
Yeah, and
I try to do some of my rollerblade stuff, obviously, when I roller skate, but I also look at what the roller skaters do.
Are you bringing the brake back onto the rollerblade?
No way.
A little roller skating.
Oh, God.
Just kidding. Although the one thing
that
I
will
will
brake tricks, that'd be kind of
yeah. The one thing that I think is sick is I have seen some roller skates like rip and do some like brake tricks, and that's really tight.
Like the toe stop stalls and stuff.
Yeah. I'm kind of jealous of that. If I had that on the front of my blade, I would probably mess with that too.
Actually, there's this guy at my roller rink because I go to the roller rink a lot. He has front toe brakes on his rollerblades.
Wow,
it's really weird.
Innovating, dude.
They're like, I think they're kind of frames meant for figure skating, but he has them on like a pair of speed skates or something.
Those brakes would only work well if you were going fakie. Like,
yeah, you have to go fakie. It's how he stops.
Wow, incredible.
It's interesting. I ain't never seen another pair of skates with brakes on the toe on a pair of rollerblades, but I've seen it.
Yeah. Any last words for Shred Tour?
Fuck, man, everyone needs to come to Shred Tour, and you don't know what you're missing if you've never been to one.
Shout out to Preston for setting this whole thing up.
Yeah, Preston. He told me that it originally started because he missed out on going to Colorado road trip one year.
Oh, wow.
And so from that, he decided to make a tour around here, and it's just blown up ever since then. After my first one, I swear I'll never miss another one.
I met Josh Acosta in person after chatting with him through Instagram about crystal pendant wraps. Josh trades me one of his handmade, one-of-a-kind wraps for a blade rat necklace. We sit down to chat a little bit more.
I'm just curious. So your full name is
Joshua Keahi Acosta.
Nice to meet you again, obviously. And that's your wife, correct?
That is my wife, Nye. We've been together for 15 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you met blading?
We did. I was just about to turn 18, and I invited all of the skaters in my town to come to the skate park. Thought I knew everybody, and then she turned up with her brothers, and I was kind of blown away.
Wow. You both are talented. That's pretty cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. Were you both ripping back in the day, too?
Yeah, she was throwing 540s, and I got her to throw some alley-oops on our down rail in the local park. Yeah.
That's cool. So I was chatting with Ben Spires, and I do a little bit of wire wrapping, and he was just saying that he also does pendant wraps, and he mentioned that you do that, and so I was like, kind of hunted down each other, and we chatted a little bit, and it's cool. You did a little trade with me with the blade wrap pendant, so dope to see other people's work, and your work is fantastic.
Thank you.
Maybe you want to chat a little bit about that, or maybe
how you got into that. We're from Colorado, so there's a lot of mining and a lot of crystals going on and going around there, and I just kind of wanted to wear a crystal, so I started wire weaving, and next thing you know, I'm looking up tutorials, and it just all comes together, and it's kind of my meditation time. It's an easier way to decompress after skating. Just grab some wires and chill.
How many years have you been doing that for?
3
Cool.
years. Yeah.
Cool. And do you think it came out of a necessity for you to kind of create fashion and something different, like the taste that you like, or did you see inspiration from somebody else?
I drew inspiration from an artist named Imnium from Russia.
Okay.
She's amazing. But yeah, it was more of just wanting to wear my own stuff, have something more unique. And it's really cool because people I've met along the way, I'll give wraps away, and they're special to me because they're like little gems that are just laid around that, one day somebody will see that and say, oh, wow, where'd you get that?
Absolutely, yeah. I forgot even sometimes, who I give mine to. I do more of quantity wraps, I feel like. So I'm knocking out more numbers of them, probably because they're smaller, less intricate. And so, I'm giving out lots to friends, and it'll be funny to see, oh, I totally forgot I gave that to you. But then, you see it, and you kind of flip it around in your fingers, and you remember all the time that you spent with it, right? And even where you picked that stone up from.
Yep, absolutely. And there's a cool thing about direction. I don't know if you wire wrap in any specific direction, but there's a guy that taught me that if you're making a wrap for somebody and it has an intent behind it, you hold that intent and you wrap in this direction, like the positive direction in a drill. So you're giving. But if it's a negative stone and you want to, it's a drainer, you'll go this way and you'll be taking away that negative energy. So if it's like a stone that helps with pain, I'll wrap in a different direction so it's drawing the pain out, and then they can cleanse the stone.
Wow, so that was a YouTube tutorial?
No, that's this guy out in Colorado Springs. His name is Casey, but he goes by Merlin. He makes wands. So handmade wooden wands with crystals and wires all over them. And he told me about the direction. Lawrence Law, I think it's called.
That's really cool. Any other rollerbladers that rock your jewelry, or is it kind of on the underground, or what's that?
Yeah, it's pretty underground. I did a donation for the Mile High Battle Best Trick last year, and I think Banning's got one.
Oh, wow, that's cool. So you do little prize packs for comps?
Yeah, and I'm going to do one again this year. So
you mentioned that you have a YouTube channel that you're working on?
I do. It's Acosta Blades, and it's basically tutorial-based right now. Eventually we want to turn it into a vlog. We're waiting for our little guy to graduate from high school. And once he graduates from high school, the plan is to sell all of our things and jump into a van and start touring. Wow. And we just want to go and teach and get little camps going along the way, and of course connect with all the community out there.
That's really cool. And it seems like you've been even kind of teaching everybody along the way on yoga and stretching and proper practice with that. Sounds like you have a bit of an athletic background.
Yeah, absolutely. Grew up doing karate and martial arts, fell in love with weightlifting, did bodybuilding for a few years. I was competitive. That's when I quit rollerblading. I skated 5 years consistently, and then I quit for 7 years. And in those 7 years, we created our personal training business. I became a competitive bodybuilder. And, life kind of got rocky. We were fulfilled. We had everything we needed, but blading wasn't there. And so we decided when our son turned 9 years old, that's when I first got my first pair of blades. So we bought him a pair, and, of course, my son can't shred by himself, so all of us got them. And since then, we've been back.
Wow. What's that like coming back the second time after taking off so much time?
It was beautiful. So I hadn't looked at anything skating for 7 years, and we got invited out to the Colorado road trip. And when we went out there, it was mind-blowing because skating had matured, and it got that polish, those Colorado guys, and there's so much polish in it that it just drew me back. It's grown and matured.
Even culturally, I'm sure, too. I mean, we were younger kids when it started, right?
Right.
And so now the culture has kind of started to solidify a little bit, saturate in a good way in regards of, we have products and people that are backing companies that, care about the industry sort of thing. And even though we're a small industry, we still have products available, clothing and sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's more. It's really cool to see how many pairs of blades are out here, too. A lot of people rocking them skates. Just a variety out here. David Witt riding the Solas. That's cool to see those new friends out here.
Yeah, that guy's ripping, man. I'm so nice. A lot of the social media, you meet people on social media, and it's just it's cool, but there's a barrier there because, when you finally meet that person and you got to skate with them, it's just more real.
Yeah, absolutely. I've even been talking with you and Ben about, we need to connect via FaceTime and do a little bit of wire wrapping and, connect post-tour, which I think is really rad. It's like we meet friends that we have these deep connections with, and now we can, we're separated by a barrier that happens to be a phone. I mean, we're living in Star Trek. We can now hang out with the homies across states. Yeah. So it's like you meet people along the way, you meet different shredders, and if you have something in common, you can hang out with different, different cultural elements like art or tattoo or stonework, whatever it have.
Or fitness, meeting some of these older guys that, we get so banged up from this sport, whether it's muscularly or falls and injuries, and we have this thing about, throwing back a beer and just keep going, and that's cool until you get about 35, or it starts to become a little more real. And that's the part that I want to give back to the community, is just ability to heal, so that way we can keep skating and we're there for the youth that are coming up, and we can, collab and teach them.
Is that sort of the content that you think is going to come out of the YouTube channel, or is that like direct one-on-one, person-to-person as you travel?
No, that's going to be the content. I initially launched it with just fitness tips from foam rolling to stretching. I do ice bathing and cold showers and what the benefits are behind it, but it didn't really take to the community that well, so I switched it to tutorials. And through coaching volleyball and being a personal trainer, I was able to communicate things that I think people just look over when giving trick tips, and it's been really great, and getting feedback from different countries where, this guy sent me a 540 video clip, and he's like, hey man, how can I land this trick? And it's like, hey, just look over your left shoulder and keep that heel back, cool. And he sends me another one and he's landed it,
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I hope that people listen to this podcast and will tune in and check out your channel more. You should even talk to people like, Travis Stewart at Blader Union, make sure that he can maybe add something about tips and tricks for blading. Do you have a Patreon page, Paul?
Not yet. I'm thinking of launching one. The money was never the reason to do it, but I've been consistently told, like, no, you need to do that, so people can support you and whatnot.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think if you're providing great value back out to the community, this is something that, we just see how many people have now learned how to newly stretch. Right. As being, like, how old they are, like 35, 40-year-olds learning how to now stretch. Like, right. I just think we need to support one another, especially if we're going to go and produce content, help each other.
Absolutely.
By putting out, tricks and tutorials on how to, like, heal yourself.
Yeah.
That's a big part of our culture. We get beat up a lot. So.
We do, and I didn't see anything. I would type, when I first got hurt, I fell off of a kink rail and I dislocated a couple ribs, and that injury got me, so I started researching, how to heal faster, and was looking at what was going on with the blading on YouTube, and it was just like, man, there's this big void of recovery. Nobody is talking about recovery, or they just dabble in it, so I really want to focus on that.
That's cool. And what was you guys had a tool that everybody seemed to be having a hoot with.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of that tool.
It's sort of like what is it, like a jigsaw with a...
Yeah, so a jigsaw with a little ball on the end, and it's myofascia releasing, so it just tenderizes the muscle. It gets all the trigger points and the microfiber tears that are all over. That tightness that you experience while skating is usually done, or it happens from a dehydrated state and then the lactic acid coming in, and that tool helps you flush that out of the muscle and release those.
Wow. That's a huge pro tip out there. Write that one down.
Yeah, that one's a really good one. Release those knots in your muscles and stay hydrated.
Any last words for Shred Tour?
Thanks for everybody. Thanks to everyone that was on this tour and showed us love. Connecting with this community has been amazing. If you haven't been out on this tour, you should really come out and visit the Seattle area. It's beautiful. Thanks to everybody that has supported us along our way. Just keep growing, keep connecting.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks
for your
time, man.
Thank you, Brad.
Appreciate it.
All right, bud.
Awesome.
As Shred Tour comes to an end this year, we all say our goodbyes and drive back to our homes. Riding off the great vibes from Shred Tour can certainly give you the post-Shred Tour blues. Thankfully, I got to reminisce with my good friend Eric Thompson and sit down to write an article for BMAG. Here are a few sounds and excerpts from that article. Eric, you're like the Hunter S. Thompson of rollerblading. Even though you type, you're like batting this like keyboard like it's a typewriter.
Yeah, I do type really hard. I do. Hunter S. Thompson is really cool, and we shared the same last name. But yeah, I want to write. I like Hunter S. Thompson, and I like reading and writing, and I've always wanted to write. Cool. This is perfect. This is it. It's good. All right, I'll read it once, and then I should probably head out pretty soon, right? All right. In an era where social media is the most common place for rollerbladers to interact with one another, the Northwest Shred Tour is a fresh breath of life into the Pacific Northwest scene. Preston Villanueva is a master of ceremonies in the truest sense. His ability to assemble an event packed with details so seemingly effortlessly is one which I admire and appreciate. If you've never made it out to a shred tour, I urge you to experience the majestic views, phenomenal skate parks, and a weekend getaway into the Pacific Northwest rollerbladers' utopia. Ooh. Alright, that's it. I'm satisfied with it. I don't think there's anything that we can do to make it better. That was sick, Brad. I'm really juiced. Good work. We just did a fucking article for B-Mag that's fucking sick.
We hope that you enjoyed this episode. Please support us by visiting our Patreon page at patreon.com/BladeRatPodcast. Sign up to become a Patreon supporter and receive Blade Rat apparel and other rewards. Visit our website at bladerat.com to check out the podcast, pendants, and beanies. And don't forget to go to iTunes and give us a 5-star review. And be sure to remember to support Blader-owned brands like Haunted Wheel Co. and follow Haunted Wheel Co. on Instagram.